Hey, it's Darren, day 39. I just flew in Houston, Texas. Going to do some editing with Craig next couple of days on our storytelling boot camp. But while I was flying, I finally finished the adaptation book. And there's a few things, some ahas as I was learning. A lot about the legal side. And I mentioned this yesterday, but there's Oh, I don't want to know about that part. I just want to know about the fun part. Anyway, a couple things here. What I learned about was composite characters too. That there's actually legal challenges, or you have to get actually permission to take two characters and combine them into one character in a true life story. I had heard of that, but I didn't realize when you do that, you have to actually get releases from both people, and you have to document that you uh, created a composite character, combining two or more characters into one. You have to get, this is what right out of Linda's book, you have to get releases from all the subjects who make up the composite. When doing the composite character, it's not acceptable to obtain a release from only one. Interesting. Um, let's see, what else was there? A few other fascinating tidbits. Um, Errors and omissions. There's actually a contract in here to get for options when you're optioning, trying to get permission to write a script. But obviously, since it's my story, I don't have to do that. Also, learning things like uh, you can't pay. You're very unlikely to pay out to get paid from a studio if you do it in terms of net income, because they were mentioning, and the one that she mentions is Coming to America. I believe that's the Eddie Murphy film. That it grossed well over $150 million. Although Paramount Studios says it's still in the red in that project, which okay, well, I don't have a clue. So, and she mentions creative bookkeeping. So you have to be careful and saying that there's net income. You might never ever get paid from a studio on that. So that's interesting. Then also chronology, yes. It says that chronology of events, locations, circumstances must be accurate throughout. The supportive evidence must be submitted to the effect in an annotative script. And these notes are actually for a docudrama for television. Apparently, it's very different when you're doing real life to television as opposed to real life to film. So these are some. I think this says from ABC's guidelines on creating a docudrama, and it was just some of the cases here are interesting. Characterization is that attitude says a personal characteristics, attributes, and demeanor must be substantiated. If a character is depicted as feisty or quarrelsome, documentation to this effect must be supplied. Otherwise, you can get sued, even if you have permission that it's that you're fictionalizing characters. So there's times when you can fictionalize, and there's times when you cannot. So it's just, yeah, it's kind of wild, all this insight and stuff. And learn about pitching a story, which that's the next book I'm going to read from Michael Haig. And I'm going to start on that, probably flying back on Tuesday. So, I again have no idea exactly how long this was because I was on a plane reading, but I know it was more than 17 minutes. That's what I do know. So I'm excited that that book is done. Got some good notes from it, and it's going to be a great resource that I can come back to as well. So I'm glad Linda wrote that book, and I actually look forward to possibly doing some consulting with her as well. She's also, of the screenwriters that I learned from, she's actually the only one who's Christian, and I want to have a Christian slant to this because it's important, I believe, to my story. But I'm also realizing that I may have to get permission from written permission from Dave Fitzgerald's family, even though he's passed away, and it was my interaction with him. And also need to talk to Vinny and see about getting permission from him, and realizing I may need to get permission from, and maybe I might be jumping the gun that the studio handles this once it gets to that point, from my own family, my brother, my mom and dad. So we'll see. But did a lot of reading on the plane, and I really got to read more faster because I got to get to writing, and probably writing the treatment first. So that sounds like the next logical step. But Michael's book hopefully will help me with that and selling the idea. So, closer to my dream today. What did you do today? More importantly, what are you committing to doing tomorrow? See you tomorrow. Stage time.